the mission of our Team Detroit model is to provide our clients access to best practice companies and talent. You'll notice that the word integration doesn't appear in that first sentence, and it doesn't appear deliberately. The word that's in that sentence that appears is access to best practice companies and talent. We are not one agency that does everything for our clients all the time. That's increasingly what we are not. We are I'll speak to what we are in a second. But we are a portal to the holding company. All across the board, we found that there was no textbook for this. There was no way to go, okay, this is how you build an integrated marketing communications agency around one client. There was a moment when I spoke to John Seifert, who's now the managing director at Ogilvy in New York. He's a very nice man. And at one point, somebody had asked him to go and study 33 global ways of client organizing. So not just teams, but global ways of client organizing themselves. And he came and he said, I've got some good news and some bad news. I said, what? He said, well, the good news is nobody knows how to do it. The bad news is nobody knows how to do it. The fear was not about something new. The fear was about being taken over. And we managed that process very carefully. So we brought the agencies together in one building. They had discrete and separate identities. And slowly we took those pieces of identity away. So we painted the walls a different color. Originally, Ogilvy had Ogilvy red. JWT had 3 colors that JWT went to, and Y&R had Y&R light blue. You still see little bits of it, but those signs and symbols of occupation and identity have started to move away. And we were thoroughly misunderstood. All the time we were misunderstood because people had no framework to understand us by. Very few people knew that operating company agencies were starting to be formed. I mean, there had been some that were very closely aligned to clients like Lintas and the Lintas network, but people didn't get us, and people would say, oh, well, you're just the next Emphatico. Or you're like Emphatico, aren't you? And we'd go through the conversation of say no. And the point I made earlier, there was a sense each of the operating companies still felt that they own the account. And they still do, but they've come to feel that in a different way. I think they feel ownership of the work that we do now. And there's a kind of little bit of pride about how the child has grown up. And then an interesting thing happened. So I started getting calls from Y&R in Oslo saying, can we have your Fiesta movement case study? Yeah, of course you can, yeah, I would say. They started to see that what we were doing was validated by the work, both in terms of creativity and in terms of effectiveness. And this strange event occurred when Ad Age said we were one of the top 10 agencies in the United States, which is not as good as being number 1, but it's better than being number 11. Forrester, industry commentators basically started paying attention to us and understanding. And for us, there was a sense of validation about the model because we were not being seen as an aberration anymore. You've got to have a team of people who believe, and if I leave you with one thing, I hope I'm leaving you with the sense that I actually believe in the Detroit model and the idea of evolving models of communications more importantly. As I'm quite happy to say, Team Detroit, as I understand it now, in 5 years, might not exist. But that will be okay. It will have evolved to become something new and different and better.